Hello Python enthusiasts, let us understand nested for loop in Python. So nested for loops are nothing but the loops within loops. So where your inner loop run multiple times for each iteration of the outer loop. So just to understand the concept of this nested for loop, we will simply take one pattern which is in a matrix form. And I want to print this matrix of star. So for that I am going to use a nested for loop. But before starting a coding for nested for loop, we need to first focus on these 4 points. So that means if any pattern or any output we want to print, in that case, we need to check what will be the number of rows, what will be the number of columns, what output you are expecting in case of your inner loop, and is your inner loop is depend on your outer loop. So these 4 points we need to keep in mind while writing a nested for loop. Okay. So for current scenario, first we need to identify the number of rows. So you can observe here we have around 5 rows. So its answer is 5. So your outer loop will run for 5 times. That thing is clear. Now check for the number of columns for this pattern. So again it is 5. Right? After that, we will check what output you are expecting in your printf statement. So it is nothing but we want to print a simple star. Now the next point is your inner loop is depend on outer loop. So this point we will discuss later after completion of coding of this simple code. So now with the help of first 3 points, it is possible for us to print this pattern. So let us start coding for this simple pattern. So how many rows I want? I want the 5 rows. That means I am using a simple for loop for I in range of 5. Okay. Now what will be the number of columns I required? I required number of columns 5. So I will write down for j in range of again 5. Okay. So here I want to print a simple star. So I will just give a print statement and I will print a star. Again, this one iteration is going to print the 5 star, right? This J loop will run 5 times and it is going to print this 5 star. So that will be on same line. So I will just use end without spaces so that all star will be printed on same line. Now, one more point is here is nothing but your every row is printed on new line. So for that, I am simply giving a print statement after completion of my inner loop. Okay, so that your every row is printed on new line. Now we will just execute the code and check the output. So now you can check you are getting 5 star or 5, we can say 5 by 5 matrix of the star. So this is a simple way to print this 5 by 5 matrix of star. Now suppose I will make a changes to this pattern and I will show you how your inner loop is depend on your outer loop. So now we will again check these 4 points. What is the number of row? Number of row will remain same. That means this will be same. Now number of columns. So now you can check on first row you require number of column 1. On second row you require number of column 2. On third row you require 3 columns. On fourth row you require the 4 columns and on fifth row you require the 5 columns. That means your number of columns is depends upon number of rows. So now if you observe this pattern, you can say that your inner loop is depends on your outer loop, right? So here I need to update my range to I. But my again, I is start from 0. I will mention I plus 1 because if I give the range of 0, nothing is going to consider or the sequence is not going to be generated. So I will update as a I plus 1. Okay, and after that I will remaining thing keep as it is. So here if you check for this pattern, the thing I have just changed is instead of 5 I have given I plus 1 and here I can say that your inner loop is depends on your outer loop. Okay, so now we will just execute this code So you can check here, you will get the output as per our requirement. Okay. So when you are considering any pattern painting, definitely there is a need of nested for loop. And when you are using nested for loop, you have to keeping this 4 point into a mind, that is number of row, number of column, what data or what output you are expecting. So currently we are printing a star. Sometimes we require the number, sometimes we require the alphabet or special characters. So that point we have to think. And last is nothing but whether your inner loop is depends on outer loop. So when any pattern come in front of you, you need to go for analyzing these 4 points before writing the code. That's it for today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.